Welcome back to another episode of Fall Knowledge Podcast. Today we are joined by former Bears cornerback Prince Amukamara, also played for the Giants and the Jaguars. So happy to have you on. It's been a pleasure getting to know you over the past year, and I'm so thankful you could come on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Prince. Really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I don't like that Michigan shirt, but it's all good. It's all good.
Go blue.
How about this one?
Is that who's the Chicago? I like that. That's the Bears. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just want to get started right away. Your entire family is athletic. Like your mom, was selected to compete in the 1984 Nigerian track and field, and then your sister just was in Paris. Saw that interview with her, and she played basketball. So growing up, was it just always a thing to you got to push your best to be as athletic as possible, or what does your family have to do with being who you are today?
Yeah, our family was an extremely competitive household. We competed in anything and everything, and being the only boy growing up with five girls, five sisters. I was always trying to hold my own twos just so I wouldn't get picked on and stuff. But I would say my older sister, Princess, she kind of set the standard. She played JV football as a junior in high school, and yeah, and then so we all and then she got a scholarship to play, I think softball in college, and then I got a scholarship, and then my other sisters behind me, and then it was just the standard was set. Everyone was getting scholarships.
Can we just get out of the way real quickly how you have five sisters? I have
Yeah.
I have one sister, Roni. I can barely deal with that. I cannot imagine the pain and torture you had as a child.
Yeah, and that's why I did. That's why I did a lot of sports, is to be around, the guys, and to kind of, just mess around. Whether it's play video games, whether it's whatever dumb stuff we were doing, ding dong ditch, whatever. We were just being kids.
Yeah. What was it like on that high school team that you were probably the best player on the team, I imagine? What was it like, in high school, being the best player, getting recruited? What was that like for you?
It was a fun time. I never really saw someone get recruited as much as I did. So, not saying I didn't know how to handle it. I was just myself, but it was super fun. The only thing that I could kind of relate it to, that kind of taught me how to handle it, was any type of football movies and stuff like that. And so I remember getting my first offer from UTEP and just super excited. I was just thinking, okay, pressure's off. I know college for 4 years at that time was around $100,000 for 4 years. So I got that pressure off my parents. I was excited. But UTEP, no offense to UTEP, but it wasn't as big of a school that I wanted to go to. And then when Nebraska, Colorado, Oregon started to come, then I was really, really excited. And I was able to choose where I wanted to go. The college player I looked up to was Reggie Bush. I played running back in high school.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you were putting up some Derrick Henry numbers up there, man.
Yeah, no, I was killing. And then, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm being inducted in the National High School Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's actually in Chicago. It's going to be in June, on June 30th, I believe. So, I played basketball, won 3 state championships there, ran track and field, won state in the 100-meter and 200-meter. So I was pretty well-rounded.
Wow, that's incredible. Also at Nebraska, tell us about your time there. What was it like, obviously, working your way up to being drafted into the first round of the NFL draft? What was it like?
Yeah, dude, Nebraska was a fun time, but it was a difficult time too, because like I said previously, I played running back in high school. So all I played was offense, scoring touchdowns, playing the game forward, right? Running forward. And then when I get to Nebraska, they just throw me in a defensive room. And so I'm just like, what are we doing? On my recruiting visit, I met with the running backs coach. The running backs coach told me that he would love me as his running back, and now I'm playing defense. You put me in the defensive room. So it was tough. I was 17 at the time. I got to college a little early. So I was contemplating transferring. And obviously it wasn't as easy as it is now with the portal and stuff. But I really wanted to leave, and then I was very close with our team chaplain, and he had mentioned, "Hey, maybe God has you here for a different reason." But at that time, I was not trying to hear that. Like I was trying to play offense, and then our head coach gets fired, Bill Callahan, and then Coach Pelini comes in, and I go into his office, bang on his door, "Hey, I was promised to play offense. Like I'm trying to play offense." He said, "Hey, Prince, I've coached a lot of DBs. If you learn this position, grind, work hard, you'll play this position for a long time." Obviously, fast forward, he was right, but at the time he could have been blowing smoke, like he could have been lying. I don't know, but I trusted him and I worked hard, and things worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you literally could have been the first Travis Hunter. Who would have known?
Right, right.
So then, can you tell us then, just as Kishan said, like going up the depth chart, because at first you were out there, you were playing special teams, you were like a backup DB. You got your first start, I think it was a Eastern or Western Michigan. So
Yeah.
how does that like culmination of like all that hard work feel like when you finally step out of the field as like a starter?
Man, I just had a talk in Nebraska, and I was telling them the time I felt like, okay, I think I got this. We were playing Oklahoma as my junior year, and not knowing how big of a rivalry it was. I know now, obviously, that Nebraska and Oklahoma was a huge rivalry, but at that time, all I knew is that we were going to be on TV. And then I remember I got an interception, and then I ran it to like the 1 yard line, and I got tackled by my teammate. But after that game, we won, and the amount of love I got and stuff after that game, I was thinking like, wow, like this is like I think I belong. I think I've got this position kind of figured out, and so that time like I was just again I was still learning position, and at that time I was watching guys like Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden
Yeah.
was at the Florida Gators, and I was looking at all the top corners. I was like, you know what? Let me see what they're doing. Why are they considered the top corners? And I was looking at guys like Joe Hayden and just trying to learn how to play the game. And I said, okay, Joe Hayden is getting his hand on a lot of football, so that's what I need to do. I got to get a lot of interceptions and stuff like that. So it was it was rewarding, but the most rewarding time of it was at the draft. I mean, with the draft coming up also in a couple of weeks, it like hearing my name called, walking across the stage, shaking the commissioner's hand, like that's what made it worth it to me because it's a position that I just learned in 2 years, and it paid off dividends.
So you didn't go give him a hug? I mean, is Roger Goodell a good hugger?
Roger Goodell.
I think I gave him a hug. It's one of those, like the handshake and then and the hug and stuff. I think
I
I
mean,
gave.
I've seen some guys pick him up off the ground. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
so, I mean, can real quickly, just because the draft is coming up, and I know that draft training over the years has gotten insanely different. Like I was hearing, like draft training, if you're not like a top athlete, you could be paying up to like $50,000 to go to like draft clinics and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, but for you, like, what was that like going into the combine and then going into the draft, like you just described that?
Yeah, so I think I was very much prepared for the draft. And so uh, with the draft, I worked out here at a spot in Arizona at a spot called Exos. And there was a lot of top guys there at that time. Alden Smith, who ended
Oh,
up getting
wow.
drafted first round to the 49ers. Christian Ponder, who got drafted first round to
Former
the
Viking.
to the Vikings. Blaine Gabbert, who got drafted first round to the
Blaine Gabbert.
Jaguars. Uh, Marcel Darius, who got drafted first round to the Bills. Julio Jones was there,
Wow.
got drafted first round to the
He
Falcons,
just retired, man.
and who else? There was like we had so many guys there. AJ Green was there.
Oh,
I mean, so
yeah.
we had so many guys there. So it was
2011 draft
great.
was
It was
loaded.
great to be around all of them and to see how they were training and just to get to know them and just to compete. So started off there. That got me right. My agents, which guys I'm sure are now, if you're getting picked top, your agent is paying for your draft for
Yeah.
your combine training, and not only combine training, your living, getting you a car, getting you like extra stuff. Again, that was when I got no NIL. That's what I was getting. I can't imagine what guys are getting now. It's probably
I mean,
ridiculous.
I was at the combine. Shador Sanders was up there. He wasn't even throwing, and this man
Yeah,
was iced out. Oh my
I'm
goodness!
sure.
I'm like,
I'm sure,
if
and
you
that's
could
the
just give
thing.
me a diamond, I could buy a house.
And that's the thing. Like, I knew I was competing with Patrick Peterson, um, so I wasn't really like he was the only one I was worried about, and so I didn't have the I didn't have the pleasure to not to not participate. Like Patrick did everything. I'm doing everything and stuff like that. And so and plus, like it's fun to be in that environment. Like that's the most stressful interview ever because the condition. First of all, it's supposed to be like if they didn't want it to be stressful, they would have had it in sunny California or something like that.
Yeah.
Not in Indiana, not in Indianapolis. No knock on Indianapolis, but so they put it there. You're waking up at 5 morning for a drug test. You're waking up at 5 morning to do your lifts and stuff like that. And then after that, you're staying up late to do the interviews with the teams and stuff like that. And so you're in this high pressure environment, and they know like they're not going to get like your best numbers and stuff like that, but they still want to see you train. They want to see you compete and all that. So I liked it. I'm glad I went through that. Going from there to any other interview, if our interview is going to be so cake because that was so high pressure.
Do you remember what your 40 time was?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of times floating around there. I mean, I think I had an unofficial 4.37, and then I mean,
Wow.
I think they had my official, I think maybe like 4.43,
Oh my
but
god.
yeah, definitely not running that now.
I mean, like, just because you were talking about NIL, do you think that the way that the athletes are getting paid now, do you think you would have wanted to stay in college for one more year? Um,
It's a senior.
just,
Um, yeah, no, I wouldn't have even if I could have, I wouldn't have
yeah,
because like yeah, I know they're getting paid, but like my first round, and this is public knowledge, but my first round, I think, I got like 4 years, 8 million. I mean,
yeah,
a DB in college isn't making $2 million a
right,
year and stuff like that. And so if I was, yeah, it didn't it wouldn't have made sense for me. Yeah.
yeah. Do you think,
But
like,
if I wasn't getting drafted and
uh,
I would try to stay in college as much as I can because
yeah,
now kids are getting paid like it's a job. So everyone's a W-2 worker. If you're a college athlete, it you're you're a W-2 worker, and so like they're paying you. You're getting paid. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'm sure you're getting paid at least $60,000, $70,000, and
yeah,
then and then you get NIL stuff. So, I mean, we saw the stories when that kid was getting paid like, and he was in I think the Miami tight end. He was in college for like 9 years
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
getting
yeah,
paid, and not only when you do that, you can get your bachelor's, you can get your master's, you can get your PhD, all that. So why not?
right.
Yeah, I mean, you could have seen his kid in college playing with him at that point. Wouldn't have thought
Right,
that
right,
was
right.
possible.
Exactly
Now.
right.
Yeah,
So then, just transitioning towards the NFL, like going in 2011 rookie camp, like you're seeing Coach Coughlin for the first time, who is a legendary coach, and like, what was that like? Just like that whole first training camp, like just like, did you have any like welcome to the NFL moments there?
Yeah, I mean, I broke my foot the first day after I signed, and so that was tough. But at that time, I was so mentally tough just because of what I went through in college, and so like that was easy to get through. And when I say what I went through college, there's a time in college where we had like 5 2-a-days back to back. And 2-a-days, it's just basically two practices a day. And I remember being on a knee, like asking myself, like, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Because I was done, I was spent, and my answer was yes. And so when I broke my foot, like it wasn't because I had already said yes in college. I knew this was just another stumbling block, and so I just had to attack the physical therapy and the rehab at the best I could. But I mean, I would say the best hey rookie moment probably would be, I mean, there was a cold tub situation when I was in when I was at New York, and that was they call it cold tub. I call it a baptism, and it was fun. It got blown out of proportion. I mean that was when social media was just now on the rise, and so that kind of went viral and
Who's
stuff
the
like
rookie?
that.
Who's the rookie corner? Well, I think it might have been Terry and Arnold. He was just had this video where he was like, "I'm gonna get in that tub. I'm gonna get in that tub. I'm gonna get in that tub." Gets in there for a second and leaves. He flies out of there like a rabbit.
Oh
I've
wow,
never seen someone jump that high.
gosh. And the cold, I mean, it's just cold. It's not bad. It's like 40, 45 degrees, but yeah, but it just looked bad because I had JPP carrying me on his shoulder, and
Oh my
everyone's
god.
chanting "cold tub, cold tub, cold tub," and so
JPP.
yeah, and so, but like I said, everything's good. I'm good with everybody. But that was like, I mean, everyone was hitting me up, checking in on me, like, "Hey, like, is everything good? Do you need me to drive up there?" Like, no, we're good and stuff like that. So yeah.
Did you ever have to pay for a
Rookie dinner?
rookie dinner?
Yeah, so I mean, you hear the stories. Rookie dinners like 20,000, 15,000, 100, and so the reason why it's that much, obviously, it's not thousands and dollars worth of like gold plated steak or something like that. What it is that people are ordering alcohol like Louis the 13th or whatever it is, and those are like maybe $3,500 a shot and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so, and people just keep racking it, taking bottles home, and so that's why it goes up that much. But I remember my rookie year, we won the Super Bowl, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it was everyone was in a good mood, and I paid my dinner like when we were in playoffs, so it was good morale, everyone was in a good mood.
Yeah.
So and I got to split it with the other rookies, so I paid the most, which was like I think $2,800, and then
Oh,
That's
I
not
got off.
bad.
Yeah, I got off pretty easy.
you got
Yeah.
yeah, you got
Yeah.
pretty easy
Yeah, I
from
mean,
what I've heard.
what was it like on that Super Bowl team?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Were there like any like going into camp or something like that? Like, could you just feel it in the locker room, or was it just something that just as the season progressed?
Yeah, so that year was different because we started out hot. I think we started out maybe I think 6-3, and then we lost like 4 games straight, and then we ended up winning the last three. So we ended up winning our division at 9-7. So we just got in the playoffs by the skin of our teeth. But like in the playoffs, everyone's record goes out the window. It doesn't matter, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Any given
you,
Sunday.
yeah, exactly. Because the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were 15-1, and they were looking like the favorite, and we ended up beating them in Green Bay. And so we had a couple of guys who, not a couple, we probably had a good group, maybe 5 to 7 guys who won Super Bowl with the helmet catch in
Oh yeah.
Oh
2007.
yeah.
So those guys were saying, "Hey, you guys, like we're starting to see similarities. Like we're starting to see like this might be the season that we had in 2007. Like things are starting to add up and look like it." And so just believing in them, and and trusting them, and playing hard. It was kind of inevitable for us to win. And then when we got into Super Bowl and it's the Patriots again, now it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of meant to be.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, just in that game, like that was probably one of the biggest games in your career. I think. I mean, it was the only Super Bowl you played in. But just what was that like? That atmosphere? Because I mean, looking at it on TV, it looks indescribable. But I'm curious what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, so it like I was starting on special teams, and my job was to. There was a guy named Matthew Slater.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
best
Matthew
gunner in the
Slater.
league, best gunner of
Yep.
all time.
Yeah.
yeah, and so it was my job to like kind of be aware of where he was at all times on the field, like because it was my job to kind of eliminate him or something like that. And so, but then our corner Aaron Ross got hurt, and the coach told me, "Hey, you're starting." And I said, "Okay." And then and I'm a backup corner. I'm a rookie going against Tom Brady. I'm thinking he's going to throw the ball at me every single play, and he doesn't. And We get to the final play, Hail Mary, and so a Hail Mary, like on defense, our job is to box out all the wide receivers. Like that's our job. And
Yeah, Bears learned that the hard way this
oh, I
season.
know, yeah, I know. And there's supposed to be one jumper. So we're supposed to box somebody out. There's supposed to be one jumper, and there's supposed to be somebody. There's supposed to be one jumper. And so what? And we're boxing everybody out. So the jumper is just to knock it down. You're not supposed to catch it. You're supposed to knock it down, and then we're boxing everyone out so they don't get any type of tip balls. Because on offense, they have one person jumping up to get to the ball, one person behind in case there's a tip, and then one person in front in case there's a tip down. So all of us jump because everyone wants a pick in the Super Bowl. So we're looking for the ball, and then we get graded wrong, and then good thing they didn't catch it, and then we won. But Katy Perry was it's so funny. Katy Perry was a halftime show, did a halftime show, and I remember her walking across the field, and then like rather than shoot my shot, I asked her for a picture. But think about it. I just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Easy,
Yeah.
Katie. Just won the Super Bowl. Would love to take you out. But didn't work. But I mean, I'm married now.
Yeah, I
Take
was
my
about to say,
wife.
well, I wonder what your wife's thinking about
I'll take
that.
my wife over Katy Perry any day. But it just shows like I was just like wide eyed. I was just excited to be there and stuff. So it was cool.
And no one's blaming you, man. Katy Perry is gorgeous. I'll take that.
Yeah.
But then, so you win the Super Bowl, vibes are high. Going into next season, you guys don't do as well, but you start play a little more each season, going into like 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Can you just describe like what was the biggest change in like the locker room or what happened?
Yeah, so I we lost some guys to free agency, and then yeah, I mean I don't know if it was the Super Bowl blues or whatever, but yeah, it just didn't feel right, and yeah, our record showed.
What was it like? I mean, obviously, I'm a Bears fan. Transitioning into leaving the Giants, who you were with your whole career so far, leaving them for for a new team. What was that like?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Jaguars.
Jaguars, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I had a cup of coffee in Jacksonville first. I was there for a year, but when I left the Giants, that kind of the Giants didn't owe me anything at all, right? I mean, I know I got drafted there. I was a good teammate, good person in the community there, but they didn't owe me nothing at all because you don't get re-signed for being a good teammate and you get re-signed for being a great player, and
Mhm.
so I wasn't that for them. I got hurt. I got hurt a couple of times and stuff like that. But in saying that, doesn't mean it didn't hurt me
Did they
that
tell you they
day.
weren't going to resign you?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
Oh,
They just signed Janoris Jenkins after that,
oh,
and so I knew I wasn't going to be there, and I was like, wow, okay, so when they say this is a business, this really is a business. The
yeah.
Giants are going to do what's best for them. I got to do what's best for me, and so from that point on, it was just a business. I didn't let myself get tied to get like emotionally connected to any organization from that point on. And so I mean, and so I was just there to do a job. I treated it just like a job. I was there to do a job, do it to my best ability, make any connections I can, and then leave. And
does
so
that
Wow.
affect like? I've heard that once you start thinking of it as a job, like that's like taking it away from like the love of the game. Like
yeah, oh
these
yeah,
guys,
100%. There was no love of the game. There was
Damn.
there was
Yeah.
none, and all that like yeah, and again, I'm not. I hope I don't sound bitter. Like I'm not bitter at all.
Yeah. That completely is
Yeah,
understandable.
not bitter at all. I was just operating now as it like that it's a business. I have to. Prince Amukamara has to do what's best for Prince Amukamara and his family. So if like I remember I would play through the craziest injuries, but then you got to understand like there's a difference with playing through injuries, right? Like there's stuff you can push through, but then there's stuff it's like if I go out there, like say I have a hamstring issue or something,
Those are
and
Yeah.
and I got to guard Tyreek Hill, like I'm not putting. I still, when you're on the field, you're 100%. Nobody cares. Oh, you're dealing with. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Even if you have a cast or whatever, you're 100% when you're on the field. Because so I don't want to hear, oh, this person. No, no, no. You're 100%. So when I'm out there, I'm putting film out there for other teams to see. So if
Yeah.
they see like, oh, dude, what's wrong with this corner or this corner, they don't know anything. They don't care that I'm playing through an injury. Like all that stuff, like being tough and stuff like that. You have to be smart about. Not saying you can't play through injuries. You just have to be smart about the injuries that you play through. And so I started to be smart about that, and when if I wasn't ready to play, I let them know, hey, I'm not ready to play, and they respected it.
So what was like the worst injury you played through then? Because you said like you played through a bunch.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I tore my bicep. I tried to tackle
Oh,
what's his name, Trent Richardson with like an
Oh,
arm. Yeah, and then my bicep pulled up. It rolled up here, so they had to bring it down. And so that one was pretty bad. But and then I broke my foot. They put a screw in my fifth metatarsal. But I would say my AC joint, like it was because that one was nagging. These other ones, once it's done, I'm not doing anything. I can't play. Like I'm done. But this AC joint, you could play through. But if you just touch it, it hurts. It's so sensitive. And so I remember I sprained my AC joint, and I like tackling and stuff was hard, and trying to catch the ball and stuff, but I played through it, um and yeah, and then it wasn't it's crazy when you play the game with your adrenaline so high. Adrenaline is like it's like a pain reliever because you don't think about nothing, you don't feel nothing.
I mean, what was the? I have to ask. What was the toughest receiver that you had to
yeah,
guard in
that's
your
a good
NFL
question.
career?
Yeah, I mean the person that comes to mind is always Devontae Adams, especially
Yeah.
because uh, like I was at my greatest when I was with the Bears, and I think he was at his greatest when he was with Green Bay, and so he he was just so good
You know,
with or
I
without.
had a feeling you were going to say that actually,
Yeah,
Devontae Adams, the Bears
with
Vikings, or Bears Packers. I had a feeling.
yeah, with or without Aaron, he was just so good. And there was guys like Allen Robinson, who's my guy. I remember going up against him when I was in Jacksonville, and then we were at the Bears together, and then Antonio Brown, pretty good, dude. Here's a throwback. I mean, Des Bryant was good, but Miles Austin. There was a time when
Yeah,
Miles Austin had he was just having he was having a great year, and he was pretty nice. And then I mean Calvin Johnson with the Bears. I remember I got to
Yeah.
guard him. He was good also.
just throwing back like you were talking about A Rob on the Jags, and then there was like you played with rookie Jalen Ramsey. I'm just curious what
Right.
that was like. Was there any like obviously he was known
Mentorship.
yeah mentorship
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean everyone like yeah. Jalen was my rookie. Uh, Everyone just knew he was going to be a dog. He was just wired different. Like he already knew like that he was the guy, and he played like it. Like they didn't wasn't afraid of anybody. Took chances. Was not afraid to tackle, and super 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 athletic. And so he was yeah. Everyone just knew the Jaguars didn't miss with that pick.
I'm just curious that because I heard in some video that, for example, with punters, the difference between a punter in the league and a punter that's not in the league can be the difference of like 5 yards or 10 yards for how they kick, like how far they kick. So,
Wow.
I mean, I would like to believe that like everybody is trying to like be tough in the NFL and stuff like that, or at
Yeah, the
least on the
little things
sidelines.
matter. Yeah.
So, like, I'm asking, like, what do you think the biggest difference is then between like a great corner or like a good corner? Like in high school, what can someone do to like separate themselves from being good versus great?
Yeah, at just any position or what?
Specifically at corner, but if you
Yeah,
got
at,
other
at
positions.
corner, I would say at corner definitely ball skills. So always working on your hands, and then um, I would also say, um, uh, like your technique. Not a lot of corners have great technique. When I say technique, that's backpedaling. That's planning and breaking to the balls, and then you just have to have a physical mindset. Like coaches love corners who come up and tackle, and so if you have great hands, great feet, great technique, and you come up and tackle, coaches can work with that.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Do you want to
Now
go to the
we'll
Bears?
go the Bears. I mean, my Chicago Bears, I'm a diehard Bears fan. Obviously, going into that 2018 season, what was it like?
Going into that 2018 season, sorry, what?
What was it like just in general?
Yeah, I mean, we get a new coach in Matt Nagy,
Yep.
and then not only we get a new coach, dude. I remember like a week before we go and play, we
Y'all
hear that
got
we're
Khalil
getting
Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Khalil
Yeah,
Mack,
so
yeah.
we get a player, and then we don't really practice with him, and then we get in the game, and this dude is just wrecking shop, and so he comes in and he just wrecks shop, and we almost win that Green Bay game. We end up losing on Sunday night, but
Yeah.
then from that point on, though, I mean, he made our defense instantly greater. Like everyone was great uh, because of that, and so um, and that year, that's probably the most I've ever felt like I was like, okay, we're gonna win the Super Bowl, just because there was nobody messing with our defense. I remember when the Rams come and we beat them 17-3, and we're like, wow, this is the best the NFC has to offer. And when they came to our spot and we beat them 17-3, and so um, and then obviously when we get to the playoffs with the Eagles. We get to the playoffs with the Eagles, and I tell everyone this about the kick. Obviously, in the moment, Cody Parkey could have won us the game with the kick, 100% in the moment. So, but because he didn't, he lost us that game in the moment because he had a chance to win in the moment. But there was more stuff that went on to that game. I remember I had a defensive pass interference on a play I shouldn't have, and so there was other stuff, but I know that's what everyone remembers, but that was so tough because I truly believed that we were going to win the Super Bowl because no one was messing with us, and then to see the Rams in the Super Bowl, and so I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was at that game.
Oh
It
wow.
was, yeah, it was really tough, but I want to look on the bright side. Obviously, one of the best moments in that 2018 season was your game-winning pick six against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, juking out Russell Wilson to score a pick six. What was that like for you?
Dude, that was that was huge. I mean, everybody doesn't remember, but the Sunday before the Monday night game, Aaron Rodgers, we knock him out the game. He comes back, he wins them the game. He made some couple plays on me, so now I'm trying to redeem myself with this Monday night game. And Brandon Marshall's there, and he did a number on me in 2015 when it was Giants versus Jets, and so I'm trying to get my get back. So with that pick six, it was huge. It was my first pick six I've ever had, and to get it on Monday Night Football, I mean,
In
I'll
the
never
NFL to
forget that.
begin with is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just wondering, like, just with the Bears itself, you were talking about Khalil Mack, and I assume he, like, as being one of the best, he was one of the leaders of the locker room. Like,
Yeah.
who else was like leading that locker room, and what was that locker room like?
Um, in 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean we had guys. I mean, Kyle Fuller was a leader. I would say Eddie Jackson.
Mhm.
Um, I think uh, we had Danny Trevathan,
Yeah.
Akeem Hicks, and stuff. So yeah, we had a lot of guys that were super vocal and led us in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, going back to that wild card game, what was your reaction directly to when it happened? Were you just like, wow? What was your reaction?
Man, it was just like, I mean, it only hurt just because I really thought we were going to win the Super Bowl, so that's why it hurt. But but as a corner, we have short term memory, so I was just like, man, on to the next, yeah, on
Yeah,
to next year.
yeah. Because I was going to ask, as you said earlier, it's just a job. You got to keep going, keep working. Did this one hurt more than the other ones? Would you say?
Um, did this one hurt more than the others? Yeah. That was probably
Yeah.
the hardest win, the hardest loss. Yeah, like I said, just because I really believed that we were going to do it and we didn't.
And going into next season, though, no one's, or sorry, I mean everyone's hopes were really high up, and you guys, it wasn't the best year, missed the playoffs, I think. Just what, like, along with like with the Giants, like, just what changed?
Man, we again, I think we lost some pieces to the puzzle. I mean, obviously, we still had our main guys. We still had Khalil, still had Mitch, and we added a few pieces. But I mean, teams just got better. Oh, we the thing I would say a big part we lost Vic Fangio, and that was our
Yeah.
defensive
Big
coordinator.
fan.
And so Vic going to Denver, that hurt us. I mean, Coach Pagano was great. But it was his first year and stuff like that, and first year with us, so and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, but we'll be, yeah, it's yeah. So yeah.
I heard like, I mean, this is just what I've heard, and I'm just wondering your take on this. I heard like as the season progressed, like the locker room just got like a little bit more like sour, as just like the losses kept piling up. Um, what do you think happened there?
Yeah, I don't know about sour. I mean, I think guys when things don't go as planned, I would say guys just get. I wouldn't say it was a pointing the finger type of thing, but guys are just passionate and guys are just trying to figure out like, hold on, like what happened? We were the best last year, and now we're like mediocre this year and stuff like that, and so it was just guys just trying to figure out what what was going on, um and and we couldn't fix the problem because obviously we didn't make the playoffs.
Also, just wondering, like, obviously Mitch was getting a lot of the blame.
Yeah.
What, like, could you like see? Did that have any effect on you, or
On the
you,
team,
or the
yeah.
team, or him, or like on the rest? Like, how much does like that outside influence play in on what you guys do?
Um, Outside influence. Let me see. It doesn't. I mean, we block the noise. We don't. I don't think we. And I mean, and like again, like football in life, whatever sport, you have to be mentally tough. I mean, people are still killing LeBron for whatever, and LeBron's done it all, and people still hate on him and stuff like that. So I mean, you have to. We always say block the noise, and I mean, we always say control what you can control, focus on the people on the inside or in the building, and so it's like that stuff can't phase you and stuff like that. So we're really not. It really didn't. I don't think it phased us as a whole. Now, individually, guys, I'm not in those guys' minds. I can't control it, but as a whole, as a unit, I don't think it did.
Yeah. I mean, now after that 2018 season, obviously, I remember, Cody Parkey went on the news, did
Yeah.
an interview, and, essentially completely blamed himself. And obviously, how did that? I mean, I'm sure that did not sit well with you guys at all. How did you guys feel about that?
Yeah. Um it didn't. I mean, I think I heard like I heard people on the outside talk about it, and like it. There's some people probably thought it was a selfish move or whatever, but remember what I said. The Giants are going to do what's best for them. The Bears are going to do what's best for them. Cody Parkey is going to do what's best for him, as he should. And so, if he felt like he needs to get in front of it and get on TV and talk about it, hey, that's how he decides to handle it. No judgment here. And as a teammate, like I support him, and so, yeah, I had no problem. I had no problem with that. Just like I would have no problem if Cody would have made the field goal and now he's selling shirts with clutch Cody or something. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have a problem with that either. Like I said, this whole thing, it's it's a business. And so I it's a like sports, like the NFL is an entertainment, and it's entertainment and it's business. And I think entertainment is first.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'll never be mad at that. I'll never be mad at that.
So, I'm going back to a funny note. You told me about how you got a jersey from Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't get the jersey?
I didn't. Tom Brady.
Oh,
Tom Brady?
you got a Tom Brady? No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how'd that play out?
Yeah. So with Tom, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. If I got it. Oh. So the Tommy boy. So right. So let's. So
oh my God.
yeah. So you see the grass stains. This is certified. You see the grass.
Oh my God.
So listen. So
But it's not his Super Bowl 51 jersey that got stolen, right?
Is it? No, it's not. It's not. No, but so I remember Tom. We were playing the game. Tom beeline right to me and said like, hey 2-0, dude, you're having a great year or whatever. He could have been talking. He could have just been being sarcastic, whatever. But I was really having a great year. So
yeah.
But I was like, okay, thank you. And I've never met him before. I said, hey, Tom, is it cool if I get your jersey at the end? He said, yeah, I got you. We play. They end up winning, and then we played. They end up winning, and then after the game, I said, hey Tom, like, you still got me on the jersey? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, I got you. And then so I'm waiting in the locker room, and who gets the jerseys is the equipment guys. So the equipment guys from my team and from their team, they talk with each other, and they say, hey, they say whatever. Hey, Tom's supposed to get Prince's jersey, whatever. And they're like, hey, Tom's going to give it to you when he gets back to Bristol. When he gets back, not Bristol, when he gets back to, when he gets back to,
Foxborough.
Where's he at?
Where?
In New England or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so Tom, I'm like, no, you have to, like I told him, you have to go back and get it. So he comes back and he runs in with a little black bag and he's like, hey, I got it. And then so he says, it says Prince from one goat to another goat. And then I'm just kidding, he didn't say that. It says Prince, a great player. And then he signs it and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll take it.
That's amazing. So cool.
Yeah.
Like what is your jersey collection looking like? In your whole career, what are the jerseys that you've gotten?
So I have Toms, I have Drew Brees, I have Cam Newtons, I have Julio Jones, I have Larry Fitzgerald, Patrick Peterson, I have gosh, I have so much.
Does Larry live in the Phoenix area?
Yeah, Larry lives over here. One jersey that I do have that's underrated is I have a Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, that's
tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
I know, and like I have that one signed and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I would say him and him and Tom were probably like I got Saquon's with the Giants. I got Odell's. I got Eli's and
Wow.
stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So then, that's amazing. I love to hear. Like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Then going back to 2019, after the season, you get cut. You get released by the Bears in a cap-saving move. And like, what were like as you said, it's a business. Were you expecting like going into the offseason, were you expecting this to happen, or was it just like sudden?
Well, so how it works is I knew I signed for a 3 year, $27 million deal. Two years of it was guaranteed, and so I knew I was going to be there for at least 2 years. After 2 years, I mean, I would have had to have had like a great year to get that third year. So I kind of knew that they weren't going to keep me. But I thought they would have asked for at least a a pay cut or something. But they just said nah, and so. And so yeah, so they let me go. And again, remember, like I said, it's a business, so no harm, no foul. I don't talk bad about them. Thankful for the opportunity, and I just keep it moving. And so I go to Vegas. That doesn't work out. I find a home here in Arizona, where I'm from. So I play for the Cardinals, and I'm on practice squad the whole year. And then I had a tryout with the Saints, do training camp with them for a little bit, and then after that I was done. So I'm happy how it played out.
Yeah, I mean, an amazing NFL career for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you ever? I think we've talked about this, but would you ever consider going back in as like a coach?
Yeah, of course. I would. I mean, not anytime soon. Just because my yeah, not anytime soon. Just because of my like my kids and stuff are young right now, um, but eventually I will. That or somewhere in like personnel.
Mhm.
Speaking of kids, by the way, there's this really cool kids show on YouTube called Mr. A.
Mr. A.
But then there's rumors said that you and Mr. A have never been in the same room. What do you have to say about that?
Me and Mr. A have never what?
Been in the same room.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But no, it's a great show, and definitely going to be posting more. And so Mr. H, it's a fun character. If you know Blippy, if you know Miss Rachel, it's similar to those two, and we focus on all things like nutrition, education, and sports performance. And I love the athlete component to it, where I I Mr. A interviews the athletes, just simply because like there's a stat that says like 20 when a kid tells when a grown up or teacher someone tells a kid something, they, it's 20 or 30% that the kid will follow through and do it. But when an athlete like tells a kid something, or a kid hears an athlete doing something, it's more like 70 to 80% that they do it. So
Yeah.
when a kid hears that LeBron is eating blueberries and pineapples before the game, like
Give me the
that kid
blueberries
is,
and pineapples.
yeah, exactly, that kid is going to be hitting their mama for so. And we know how important nutrition is, and so that's just my way of kind of influencing that next generation.
Yeah. What made you want to be Mr. A? After the NFL.
Yeah, so I had triplets, and like 2 years ago, and so they've been having some screen time, and so I've been watching the shows that they're watching. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I have a passion for health and wellness, and especially in the younger generation, and I know how it helped me in school and on the field, and so that's how that character was kind of born.
Can you give us a quick Mr. A impression?
Oh, actually, that's so funny. Hold on. I have these. Salutations, A Squad! It's me, Mr. A! So, yeah.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a subscriber personally. I watch the
Yeah,
videos whenever
me
they
too.
come out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really
problem.
appreciate you coming on. Your
Yeah.
stories are incredible.
Yeah, I mean, amazing NFL career, amazing post NFL career, obviously. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
No problem. Thanks for having me.